Hey, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. My guys are here with me today. Hello, Cameron Riley. How are you?
Hey, Sybil. Hey, Damon. What's up?
What's happening, Cam? Hey, Sybil. Hey, people watching.
What up, TK
Am I
Tab?
the only one that's hearing kind of this is just a technical thing, but there's something in the line there when I think it was when Damon started talking. Chica, if we need to stop, let me know. Or Yolanda, if you hear anything. Damon, it is good to see you. I know you've been on the road. Where you been? Where you going? What's the word? What's the haps? What's the goings ons?
It's so funny because I move around so much, I tend to forget where I just came from. I was in Baltimore, and the people of Baltimore came out in droves, and they laughed hard, and we had a good time. And then Sunday, I was home, and I went to check out the Cat Williams performance.
Oh, cool. Nice.
How was that?
It was nice.
Cool.
Blink more times if you can.
It was, Cat. He's I think he's trying to flex some knowledge and intellect and
Okay.
his opinion on certain things, and he kind of got away from just getting to the straight to the funny. It was good, but he had my man Mark Curry on the show. He had Lunel. He had my man
Mhm.
Zoo Man. Plus Red Grant, who's running for mayor of DC, was the host. And then
Is
they
he
had,
running again?
yeah, he's running. Yep. And they
Nice.
had also this young lady named Jen. I think it was Jen Thomas, but I may be mistaken. I know her first name. She spelled it Gin from Florida, and she ripped it up. So it was a great night. It was a date night, so we hung out.
Oh,
Cool.
that's nice. That's really good. Any more date nights for you, Cameron, or you want to keep that close to the vest? You good?
I have a date tomorrow. Yeah,
A
I do.
Wednesday before Thanksgiving date. Those are always good ones,
Yeah, and
if
I'm
if
going
if
to go
memory serves
see.
correctly.
I'm going to go see Eternals, which I told this other girl that I was not going to see Eternals with her, so I'm going to go see Eternals tomorrow.
Well,
You,
well, my question is,
Damon.
the young lady that you're going out with Wednesday, are you spending Thanksgiving with her?
Um, I would not be opposed to inviting this woman to my Thanksgiving dinner table. She is very nice.
Right. Well, she obviously not invite you to hers because she ain't cooking because she hanging out on Wednesday night.
Or maybe she's just that prepared. She's all ready for it. But I think it's interesting that Cameron, she is family worthy,
Yeah, I definitely think so. Yeah.
and she's good enough to try your stuffing if you'll if you'll pardon the
Dress,
expression.
dress, dress it. Yeah. Last year I had made like some crab dressing, and crab really
Hmm.
holds the seasonings together really well. I don't think we're gonna do the crab dressing again this year because getting the crab meat from the shells, I was getting blisters. It felt like I
Yeah,
was like, what?
that's
Yeah,
tough on you.
Yeah,
yeah,
and if you want
That's
a lady
tough
to
on your
try your
dainty
stuff,
little skin.
and if you want a lady to try your stuff, and you definitely don't want crab in.
correct. We're on a roll already.
Listen to the words of wisdom. Listen to the words of wisdom. Just
Yeah,
saying. All right, gentlemen, let's talk about some topical news, what's going on in the news. And the first story is just another sad chapter in the family of Malcolm X and Mrs. Betty Shabazz,
yeah,
the
man.
daughter of the civil rights activist Malcolm X, Malika Shabazz, died in New York, according to the New York Police Department making that announcement. The 56-year-old Malika Shabazz was found unconscious by her daughter at her Brooklyn home. The cause of death is pending the final results of additional testing, but the death does not appear to be suspicious following the initial review. That, according to a spokesperson from the chief medical examiner's office. Bernice King, who was obviously friends with the Shabazz family and daughter of the late Martin Luther King, offered her condolences on social media. She said, "I'm deeply saddened by the death of Malika Shabazz. My heart goes out to her family and the descendants of Dr. Betty Shabazz and Malcolm X." Dr. Shabazz was pregnant with Malika and her twin sister Malak when brother Malcolm was assassinated. And a reminder of that. Be at peace, Malika. And she is the youngest of the six daughters. This has just been another sad season for this. And just at the time that two men were exonerated for the assassination of Malcolm X. This follows after last week's announcement about that. So we send our condolences to our friend Ilyasa Shabazz, who has been with us on the cruise, and we've been able to share some great moments with her books, and so and definitely to the other Shabazz sisters. So. Now for more news, and this is up where you guys are. Obviously, a lot of eyes are still looking at that Waukesha parade, just horrible situation in which the suspect Daryl Brooks Jr. has now appeared in court, and he's been charged with 5 counts of intentional homicide. But now that death count has gone up by 1 more. His bail has been set at $5 million, and they say that the 6th person is a child. The initial 5 that were killed were adults, and now this child has died as a result of injuries suffered at the parade on Sunday. The man, cops say, is responsible for running his SUV through the Wisconsin Christmas parade in Waukesha, killing the people and injuring dozens more, has been charged and made his first appearance in court today. According to the documents, Daryl Brooks Jr. Ignored attempts by both civilians and police officers to stop his vehicle. They claim that there were several moments when he had the opportunity to exit the parade to get out of there and the route, and he stayed in, increasing his speed as people were taken out by his car. A sad, very sad situation. And it's interesting. I talked about this the other day, you guys, that a Democratic, I think it's for DuPage County, a Democratic spokesperson or media person, a young woman resigned because of her post in which she said that was karma for what happened with the court decision, the jury decision in the Rittenhouse case.
In poor taste. Very much in poor taste.
That's beyond poor taste. That's stupidity. It's, even if you were ignorant enough to think that that's, your stance on it, you should have never posted something, as the victims have not even all been identified and people are grieving for their loss. And this psychotic idiot did this thing. See, every time we have to go out and protest for something, an injustice against us, then we have something like this come up, and they be like, "Well, look what they did," And it's that those two are so unrelated. And even the Rittenhouse thing, considering the fact that, of course, it was an unjust verdict on a lot of people's opinion, but it really ain't even our fight. I know he came there to, by the protesters for Black Lives Matter and things of that nature, but he didn't kill anybody black. So, we got way more issues to be dealing with than what that trial in that court did. And for someone to talk about it like that is really unfortunate.
Yeah, a lot of people will agree with you on that, Damon. And now, who knew that Kyle Rittenhouse was a supporter of Black Lives Matter? That's what he told old Tuckums Carlson that he. How do you know what to believe with this kid? I didn't believe anything he said or did on the stand, so I don't know that I can believe that what he said as a supporter of Black Lives Matter. I did not see it, heard it, and it could have been a wink there.
Yeah, supporters.
Let's talk about some good.
Supporters bring water to the rally, not rifles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let that be the word to go forth. Some good news. Michael Strahan's going into space, guys.
Oh.
The GMA host just revealed that Jeff Bezos has given him a call not too long ago and invited him to hitch a ride into space on the next Blue Origin rocket. He said it took all of a nanosecond to say yes after being super inspired, having been on hand for a previous launch. And he is saying that, Michael, here's the ride, and you can go up, and it will be December 9th. He's set to blast off into space. He said he's got to go through training, headed to the Blue Origin facility for a week and a half of training. And so far, he's only met his crewmates via Zoom. And one of those is the daughter of Alan Shepard, one of the first Americans who actually the first American who ventured into space, Alan Shepard, and a father and son duo, and of course Michael. So, would you guys do it? What do you think?
Jeff Bezos also kicked $100 million to Obama the other day. So,
yes, he did. Yeah, he apparently he likes giving money, $100 million to black men. I'm not mad at that. I would like some black women to get some of that money.
You can believe if Obama got it. If Obama got it, a black woman did get some of that money.
You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm just talking about, for them to say, hey, Juanita Williams, come on down. Let's give you $100 million for your cause. I would love to see that. And so the first $100 million that he gave to Van Jones and now to President Obama, and I'm sure the money is going to keep coming. And you could bring down some of the prices on those Amazon purchases that I've been making. That would help me a lot.
Well, back to Strahan. If I was Strahan, his career is going great. He's all over TV. He's doing well. He's wealthy. The only space I would be concerned about would be between my teeth. That little space, the gap. Other than that, I'm staying on the ground, man. I'm not going out there risking it. And it's crazy because, speaking of risks, one of the passengers on a previous voyage actually died in a plane crash shortly after. So I guess he did get to see his dream of space. But leaving the ground, I hate to do it when I do it. So I'm definitely not going up to space on the second or the third rocket that ever went up there. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and they're up there for like.
Well, the
10 minutes.
rockets have been; those trips have been very successful. The pilot that was on that trip was with William Shatner, if I'm not mistaken, which was the last trip, and he was killed in an automobile or a vehicular accident.
No, he was killed on a single engine Cessna. He died in a plane crash. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought he was on the ground. But he. You are just on fire. Not that you're not always, but I mean, today there's just like an extra burst. Must be some of those crabs you had in Baltimore or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's the Cat Williams show. I don't know, but we'll see. Okay. So Cam, would you take the ride if offered to you?
They're up there for like 10, 15 minutes or
10 minutes. I mean, we've done more for less.
Yeah. I would absolutely go up there. I would. My mom asked me the other day if I would go into deep space for an extended period of time, and I've been watching some
to go up to like the space station and what have you.
Yeah, sometimes astronauts will like live stream like activity in space, and the only thing that will really turn me off from that is the astronauts who are scientists. They said that the only reason why our digestive system works is because of gravity. When you're in space, there is no gravity, and so they need certain instruments to help move things along, and I would not like to be acquainted with those. So maybe not.
Yeah, it does take a bit of acclimation to get your body to that positioning, and for months at a time. Yeah,
I couldn't do it, but for like 10 minutes, do a couple flips. Hell yeah, sign me up.
And to see the planet from that definite perspective, which is different than from any plane we'll ever go on, it's that's the part that appeals to me. It's just to have an even greater appreciation for the planet Earth and to see it from that height and to snap a couple of pictures if I can.
See, they already going up there taking them pictures. You can watch their videos. Look, let me put it like this. I don't even ride roller coasters. I stopped riding roller coasters in '88, so I know, the plane ride is all the chance I'm taking. And I hate doing that a lot of times.
You are hilarious to me.
I'm serious.
All right, this is a case that I've been watching for a while, and this is the Charlottesville Unite the Right trial. This is the civil trial, and 9 plaintiffs injured in that deadly 2017 rally in Virginia, in Charlottesville, alleged that a group of white nationalist and white supremacist organizations conspired to commit the violence. So they are now, according to a jury's declaration today, these 9 people injured during the rally are entitled to financial compensation in reaching a partial verdict. So they agreed on the fact that these people, and you'll remember, this is the rally in which Heather Heyer was killed by a white supremacist who ran his car into the group. And other people were injured. They are entitled to $25 million, according to this jury, but they could not agree on the claims about the defendants, which includes the white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and key organizers that they engaged in conspiracy to commit violence under the federal law. So they deliberated for 3 days, and following the 4 weeks of testimony, and they told the judge that they couldn't come beyond the agreement that there should be some sort of financial compensation. And this is what has now come about. The jury also agreed on a range of punitive damages on the other claims, including assault and battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And that's where it came to the $25 million to the plaintiffs, that they violated Virginia's civil conspiracy law. And they also had punitive damages in that. I don't know about you guys, but that is that's an event that struck a chord, and I just can never forget that Saturday and watching that event Friday night with the tiki torches, and then Saturday with the rally. And I'm glad that they are getting some sort of compensation. Whether they will get this money or not is another matter, obviously. But just the fact that there is an acknowledgement for the wrong that these people, as Donald Trump said, good on both sides, that, that was not the truth.
Yeah. 25 million is quite a bit. On paper, it makes sense because the city has to authorize the protest, and, they're entitled to a peaceful and organized assembly, which didn't happen. So it's nice that the city is acknowledging those damages. That's quite a bit of money, but money can't repair the damage done on the consciousness of our country. It cannot repair the wounds on the soul of this country. And I can't wait for 10, 20 years from now about the history books that our children's children are going to have to read about the years 2016 to 2020 onward, about the resurgence of public displays of racism and white supremacy. Historians are going to be scrambling to try and recount and recollect how one man emboldened just the resurgence of all this violence.
Well, it ain't gonna be hard to collect because it's all on tape, all video, everything. His sound bite will paint the picture. That's the one thing. Like, we didn't hear some of the things that were said about the racists in the 1800s, but to have clear footage, it's gonna be interesting.
And that's the truth, Damon. That was what the jury depended on. It included, they say, explicit audio of some of the defendants' use of the most horrific anti-Semitic and racial slurs in their conversations. They said they tried to say that this was their form of hyperbole and humor, and the jury did not buy that. And also included in this is the man who killed Heather Heyer. His name is James Alex Fields Jr., a man who revered Adolf Hitler, and as he ran his car into the crowd, killing this young woman. He's serving a life sentence. He was also named as a defendant in the suit, and the jury agreed he must pay $12 million in punitive damages in connection with that attack. That's not the money that, I don't know how they're going to get that money, Heather Heyer's family, but definitely. It's good that a statement was made. However symbolic it is, I do hope that they do receive some sort of financial compensation. All right, gentlemen, let us move on to this particular question for today, asking you what's really going on. So, Khameron, I came up with this question before we started our conversation about your Thanksgiving dinner. But the question is, who would you like to see at your holiday table? Family, friends, or famous people? And why are you including 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a basketball team? I don't know, at your table. So why? And if not at your table, whose table would you like to join?
Alive or dead?
Alive or dead?
I would like to see my great grandmother Liz. She was my mom's mother's mother. I heard she was a force of nature, a force to be reckoned with, and is very much responsible for just like the strength of our bloodline today. And she would make her appearance would make a lot of people happy. And I want to just talk to her and just have her and just take down the oral recollection of our family's history from Kilmichael, Mississippi, all the way up to Chicago and wherever else we went after that. Whose table would I like to sit at this Thanksgiving? Jeff Bezos, I think. Maybe I can ask him to donate a meal or two to What You Need to Know.
Appreciate that plug there, sir. And for ladies and gentlemen that are watching us and listening to us, we'd love to hear your conversation on this too, as we prepare for some holiday meals. Who would you like to see at your holiday table? That could be family, friends, or famous people that you may not know or would like to get to know. Why would you like to have them, and whose table would you like to join? So any or all of those questions, we'd like to hear from you. Damon, what do you think?
Well, I know I can't go as deep as Khameron. It's back generations in my family.
No, we don't try to. We don't try to.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. You know what? I would love to sit at a table with Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Eddie Murphy. But look, to throw in on the light side, just on a different perspective, throw in Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Muhammad Ali, and just see them just talk. Now, I was thinking of as Sybil, as I sit here with you, of what woman I want to throw in the mix, but I was just thinking about some of my childhood idols and some of the guys that I would love to have a chance to just kick it with when they're off the record, drinking and smoking and talking, and that would be amazing.
Damon, did you ever see the great movie Regina King did, One Night in Miami?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what made me think of when you said that came to mind when you were talking about those more recent heroes in terms of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. That movie was Malcolm X. It was Muhammad Ali.
Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke. That's who I was trying to remember. Yeah.
I forgot the football player.
And Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Yes.
Yep. That was an awesome. I don't think that movie got enough credit. I really enjoyed it. It was based on a play, and you could see it in terms of the way that it was filmed. It felt like it was a theatrical experience, but that's one of those kind of situations that reminded me what you were talking about, and having a sit down with guys like that, and whether there would be. Do you think there would be brown liquor involved?
Absolutely. Come on, Red Fox kept a scotch on stage, yeah, definitely brown liquor. I wonder, just to see Martin Luther King, because there are photos of Martin Luther King and Harry Belafonte cracking up, and I look for the because every year around his birthday we always post I have a dream and this and that and the other, but I have several photos in a phone booth cracking up, or Muhammad Ali got him laughing, or and that's the lighter side of the doc that I would love to experience.
Yeah, I hear you. And on the other side of that, I would love to talk to their wives. I would love, because those were women like Dr. Betty Shabazz, and the friendship between Dr. Shabazz and Coretta Scott King. I think that was that movie and that book that gave us some insight into their relationships, but also some of those other women of the civil rights movement who were pushed to the back of the movement, and yet they were the impetus. They were the ones that were, according to a lot of the reports, that they were the ones that were really pushing the men forward, and as well as kids of the movement like our own Tom Joyner, who admittedly went for the sandwiches because it was said that those kids, because their jobs and their livelihoods were not in jeopardy, their parents would send them to the marches, and then the police would round them all up and take them to the police station for their parents to come pick them up. But in the meantime, they had really good. They were also provided with, not only at the jail, but by those who were the organizers of the marches, would provide the food. And Tom said those are some really good sandwiches.
And it's funny that you mentioned the women of the civil rights meeting era. Don D.C. Curry has the funniest joke about that. He said everybody was tripping on Rosa Parks not giving up her seat, and she didn't give up her seat, and she stood for that. And nobody talks about Mr. Parks. Mr. Parks, actually, no, he had a car. He had a car.
Exactly.
She should have been on the bus.
Yeah, that's right. He drove down. He had to stop and pick up some folks, but drove down to get her out of jail.
Yeah, but he had a car. He should have just gave her a ride his damn self.
It was a funny joke. Don D.C. Curry.
You got to hear
yes,
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm working with him.
Very funny.
Coming soon.
Oh, when is that?
December 4th at the historic Madam Walker Theater. Yes.
Oh.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. The Legacy, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, so let's move this beyond your family, Khameron. Are there any writers that who you really enjoy the work of, that you would like to maybe pick their brains and get some inspiration as a writer on the rise?
Yeah, I would like to sit among August Wilson. I would like to sit among Suzanne Laurie Parks, and I would also like to sit amongst. Oh my goodness, I always forget his name. If Beale Street could talk, go tell everyone.
Tennessee Coates?
Baldwin. Yeah. Oh. James Baldwin.
James Baldwin.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was way off.
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody who forgot how to say his name. That's why I said that. I still ain't get it right. Brother Coates. Yeah.
Brother Coates.
And probably two current writers of whom I've come to know who are really pushing the sci-fi genre forward, Dr. Nnedi Okorafor and N.K. Jemisin. I don't think I'd be able to sit in the room because of all the cigarette smoke, but I tell them like to crack it or something. So.
You might have to step out and take in some oxygen, but I think you come back. And I think that the combination of writers from the old school, August Wilson and Susan Laurie Parks, now with some of the great stuff she's done, Mountaintop, and what was the other one I saw on Broadway? I forget. I think she won this Pulitzer Prize for that. I'm sorry. Top Dog, Underdog. Was that it?
Yes. Yeah. Excellent.
I think that's. I think those are really great combinations. That would be quite a table. One of my old favorite shows when I was a kid was historic in nature, and the very old comedian Steve Allen. This was way before all of our times, but Steve Allen was one of the early host of the Tonight Show, Khameron, and before Johnny Carson and all of that. But he and his wife had a history show in which they had a dinner party with their friends who portrayed these characters in history. And it was fascinating to me, and it was a really great way to learn history. And I don't think that they do that enough these days. So, but I think that the possibility of having these people at our tables would be, and you talk about your family, and I will just say that I would love to have members on both sides of my families, and both my parents' parents. Because my mother's mother died giving birth to my mom, so I never got a chance to meet her. Well, my mother either, but her family still played a part in my mother's growing up, and so she had 4 sisters, and they came from Yazoo City, Mississippi. So when you're talking about Mississippi and coming up, Yazoo City, and she and my grandfather met at Tougaloo College. And so I would love to have that conversation with her, because as I did get to know her sisters, but especially I would like to know about that one sister that did not live as long as they into adulthood, and what was, you know, my grandfather's game, because my grandfather was engaged to another woman when he went down to teach at Tougaloo. And when my great-grandmother introduced him to her friends and said he's going to teach at Tougaloo, and they said, oh, just wait till those young Mississippi girls get a hold of you. And she's like, oh, no, he's engaged to a young, lovely young woman here, and blah, blah, blah. He would never, you know, take his eyes off of this young woman. And the next thing you know, he's calling, you know, and calling home and telling them, I got to tell you something. You might want to talk to the young lady and tell her. No, I'm kidding. But they did break up, and he ended up marrying the woman that was my grandmother. So
wow.
And they had my mom.
So your grandmother turned out to be sunshine, huh? You seen that movie?
I never made that connection.
Hey, it's
But
me, Richie.
Mississippi
Yeah.
Sunshine,
Yeah,
yes.
put your mama on the phone.
Baby.
Yeah, this is me, Richie. I'm never coming home again. Have a nice day.
Okay,
Have
I
a
know that
nice
reference.
day.
Yeah.
Grandma Sunshine. Hell, I want to sit at the table with Grandma Sunshine.
Okay. Kick it with them.
Let me add Grandma Sunshine to the table, to my list. Can I revise my list
Okay.
now?
Yeah, we can just expand the table if you'd like to come to our family, or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I want to meet young Grandma Sunshine.
So let me tell you the other thought that I had, Damon, and this has to do with your dad, because I have always been a lifelong fan of Gordon Parks. I would like to sit your dad next to Gordon Parks and have us, because I'm telling you, Khameron, I don't know if you've seen Damon's father and young Damon's grandfather, but he is a dead ringer.
Yeah, they doppelgangers. Yeah, doppelganger. Is that doppelganger? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We get so many references. They call him Black Einstein, Gordon Park. Yeah. A comedian called him Pookie Einstein one day. He said, because he knows my father. He was in the front. He said, look at dude, man. Who is that? You're like a Black Einstein. Give it up for Pookie Einstein in here.
Oh man,
that's hilarious. That is hilarious. So, and the table that I would love to sit at, it would be at the table of the great Oprah Winfrey. I would love, and here's why. Not only do I want to just, you know, kind of take in some of the business acumen that she has developed over the years, and you know, with a great staff and all of the things that she's done, but I also really love her friendship with Gail. And I think that the things that they have learned from each other, I really appreciate. And the older I get, I appreciate the sisterhood more and more. And I think that I would love for Yolanda and I to go on a road trip with Gail and Oprah, because it really is very Lucy and Ethel like. But also Oprah would make sure that they're not, you know, just riding the rails like Yolanda and I would. Would only be able to afford to. So.
And once again, Stephanie will be left out.
Well, you know what? I would tell him while we're on the road.
Yeah.
Damn it. It's not enough. You got Gail, and then all these girls from your school come, and they and now you got these two chicks. Sybil and Yolanda, come on, what? So, but I think that they are both such accomplished women, and I just would, you know, I don't think it's ever too late to gather some more gold from those minds. And so,
and at least yours is doable. I mean, you probably a phone call away from that happening at some point, because you know you are.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
Well, one day I will tell you how I almost got fired because of Oprah Winfrey, and I'll tell you that story one day.
I also
going back in the day.
Story. I have an Oprah story. I can trade you, Sybil.
Okay, so let's one day we'll do that. Okay,
let's do them
right
all,
now we're going to move to the.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay,
Cool.
okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so maybe on her birthday we'll do an Oprah homage to Oprah, and
Bet.
we'll tell our Oprah stories.
Nice.
It's now time for us to take a look at the What You Need to Know newsletter. And that, of course, is our Monday through Friday newsletter. Even on the holidays, whatever holidays they are, we are working Monday through Friday to provide news and information to inform and empower you. It's absolutely free. Please go to SybilWilkes.com and sign up for our absolutely free newsletter. And so this is a very Chicago, I guess, oriented story that Khameron has worked on. And Khameron, you are going to tell us about Pastor Corey Brooks.
Yeah. So he is considered by Fox News the rooftop pastor. And it was 10 years ago.
A great headline, by the way.
Yeah, I was thinking of "Baby, It's Cold Outside," and what had came to mind was I really should.
You can't
pray.
say "Hey, baby" to pastor, so
No.
yeah.
Pastor, it's cold outside.
Right.
He is pitching a tent atop of some old shipping containers, attempting to raise money for a community center in the Woodlawn neighborhood. For those of you tuning in, the Woodlawn neighborhood is on Chicago's southeast side. The nearest major street is off of the historic Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive. About 10 years ago, he did a previous 100-day camp out to raise $500,000 to knock down a super motel. And David and I know that these motels often house all sorts of activities. And Pastor wanted the motel gone. About 94 days in, he raised $500,000, enough to knock down the hotel, and now he's trying to catch the lightning in the tent once more, and he's going to stay 100 days outside in a tent during the winter in an attempt to raise $30 million to build a community center for Woodlawn, which Woodlawn would definitely need it. And it's going to be packed with all of the latest equipment, host youth programming and job training. And people have come from across the world to stay a night or two outside in the elements with Pastor Corey Brooks. He's also encouraging citizens to pitch their tents in their backyards and tweet him, Instagram him in solidarity to boost posts for his cause. And I'm excited for him. The only thing, though, is that when that first heavy snow comes, that tent is caving in for sure.
And that's any day now.
Yeah.
Right.
And the hawk is relentless.
I fully support this initiative, and I would do all I can to highlight that here in the city. But if that's me, I start that process in April and do 100 days.
Right.
Just not when you start. You must not Chicago.
And summertime in Chicago is really like 2 days. So it's like,
April, May, June. That's 90 days. He could have did it right then. But I guess it gets more coverage if he does it in the winter. They feel for his sacrifice. But man, that's bad planning, Pastor.
But that is doing the Lord's work for sure.
Amen.
As you might, and that's not our first encounter with Pastor Brooks. It was when he was trying to knock down the motel years ago that he was on the Joyner Show, and
really?
I don't know if you remember this, Damon, but he and the New Beginnings Church, when he was trying to get this $450,000 to buy the motel and to turn it into the center, he received hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations. And our friend Tyler Perry donated a Harley motorcycle that his character rode in the movie Good Deeds. And he drives in the film to a church looking to raise money or use it for a particular service to the community. And Tyler found out that Pastor Brooks was just $98,000 short of his goal. He offered to make up the difference. He received the Harley, and I do believe that he sold it. And they were, and through that connection, they were both on the Joyner Show, and he said he always wanted to meet Tyler, and always wanted a Harley, and he wanted to be on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. He said so. He said he's just excited, and this was after his 90 plus days up on the roof and bringing awareness to the gun violence in the neighborhood. He said, and Tyler said, your dedication to the community and young people really inspired him. And he said that's what he wanted to be a part of, and it moved him. So he was able to be a blessing to him now. So Tyler, if you hear this, Pastor Brooks is back upstairs on the roof. So
yeah,
if you want to, not that we aren't appreciative of what you've done in the past, but absolutely, it's a really great story.
And if Tyler happens to be listening, I'm about to go on the roof of my house until I get a part. And one, I gotta go. Tyler, if you're listening, you want to help us, want to do some good in the hood, I'm on the roof.
I'm not even sure all the things David is saying, because I'm really having a hard time, Chica, hearing him, but I hope other people are able to hear him. But that is hilarious. David's gonna go up on his roof and just wants to say hey to Tyler. And also, Tyler, remember that you are always casting, and Damon is a fine actor and always looking for work. Khameron, before we get off of your stories, let's talk about your new segment that you're doing in Instagram land. Sure. You are going to be providing us with book reports.
Yeah, so my dad passed.
Okay, it's got to be me, because for whatever reason I'm not hearing either one of them.
Oh, really?
I hear you clearly.
And I don't know if all I get is static when they're coming through, and I know Yolanda's having problems with her connection. But go ahead. Go ahead and talk. And David,
hey, viewers,
you ask him any questions you have.
Can you tell us if we're clear? The viewers, can someone text us and let us know?
Yeah, I think I see my mom and my sister, and yeah, they said that they can hear all of us. Maybe try unplugging and plugging back in your headphones, Sybil. My dad passed a couple years ago, and he was an avid reader, super genius of a guy. And before he passed, I asked him if he could give me a list of the top books that he thinks everybody should read. And on that list was The Spook Who Sat by the Door, the autobiography of Malcolm X, Native Son by Richard Wright, There Are No Children Here, Boss by Mike Royko, and the autobiography of Assata Shakur. I've been making my way through all of those. And I just finished Boss the other day. This book made me so mad, in a good way. And for those of you all who are out there, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm going to do book reports on all of those, because there's some pretty decent books. And if you never want to vote democratically again in your life, you should read Boss by Mike Royko, because it breaks down just how Black pillage and plunder just built the city of Chicago that it is today. Okay, well, I guess it's no longer it's Sybil. It's Damon and Cam.
Yeah, the autobiography of Malcolm X was one of my favorite books ever. It was very riveting. You know, I couldn't even put it down. And I'm not an avid reader because I doze off. I'm on the plane. I say I'm gonna read this book, and I'll get into a chapter and a half, and I'm gone. But that book, I stayed awake straight through it. Couldn't put it down.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do like a book report series on all of these, and for reading it's a leisure thing, and that's some time that we all don't have. So if you will want to just get some quick synopses on some really cool books, just follow me, and I'll clue you all in. I love the autobiography of Malcolm X because I had took away from it that in all his charisma, he was never ashamed to learn new things. He was never ashamed to challenge his worldview. And that's what we need a lot more of today.
Indeed. Now here's a side note. There Are No Children Here was adapted into a series or a film by Oprah, and I was an extra in it.
What word? Oprah. She's
once again.
Oh, and here's our guest, Sybil Wilkes.
Thanks for letting me in, guys. Appreciate it. It.
Welcome to the it's Damon and Cam show.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Thank you.
I say that you guys do Fridays.
Consider it done.
David's like, I have a real job on Friday.
Yeah, the Friday will be tough. Are you clearer now, Sybil?
I am. I don't know what happened, but went out and came back in, and I could hear you guys. It was just like, getting those hearing aids tuned up. It was just beautiful. So Khameron, I'm excited about your book club, and I'm assuming that you talked about Boss. So that's great.
Yeah, Sybil, if you saw the video, I'm never voting democratically again in my life. Never.
And you know what? Having grown up and my early years only knowing Richard J. Daley as the mayor of Chicago, Damon, you know this, and then Mike Royko wrote this book, early. This. I don't know, Damon. What is this book, like 50 years old, maybe?
Yeah. I'm like 76.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so that was toward the end of his reign, but still, yeah. He was a maniacal dude, though. But Chicago, we know our history, so what can you say?
Yeah, what can you say, indeed?
Don't hold it against the president, Khameron. Don't hold it against the president.
It's so hard.
I know, but don't let that, and like you say, the present and hope, and we can just hope for the best in the future.
It's just the fact that like it's in living memory of some of my like dearest ancestors, people who remember that Chicago was divided into like ethnic battlegrounds. If you crossed one, you were almost guaranteed to lose your life. And how that prejudice was inherited through the machine, baked into the soil, and grew this beautiful city. I can't let it go.
But let me just say one name for you that made all the difference in the world for many of us, and that was Harold Washington. Yeah. And so I don't think that we can, let all the horrible racism that took place in the Daley administration and those before and after color all of that, the good that has come out of the city of Chicago. And Harold Washington certainly made a great impact on a lot of our lives. That's, was a big part of my interest and love in politics, having worked on that campaign.
Me too.
Yeah, I need another night at Riddles because, Damon, I know we millennials, we don't laugh at anything anymore.
That's true.
Nothing is funny to us, so I gotta swing by Riddles.
Yeah.
So let me talk about something that's definitely not funny, and that is the closing arguments in the murder trial of Ahmaud Arbery. The men on trial, the final close took place, and this was the prosecutor. She had a rebuttal to the close made by the defense attorneys, but the defense attorney, especially that of the Elder McMichael, this woman was really a piece of work. She was a woman who painted a picture of racism in its glory in this community, and putting Ahmaud Arbery in the position of that terrorist, that monster, that animal, perhaps even a runaway slave, running in their neighborhood, and referred to him in wearing his khaki shorts and running shoes with no socks, indicating that he was not a runner, or trying to put in their minds that he wasn't running. He wasn't doing anything, just as out for a Sunday afternoon jog, and a man with no shoes, with those shoes on, with running shoes, no socks, and with those long, dark, ugly toenails. Not her exact wording, but that is pretty close to it. And so much so in talking about him being an intruder, and just offended the hell out of his mother, who Wanda Cooper Jones, who you could hear in the audio that was released, just saying, wow, as she got up and had to leave the courtroom. when this was being presented. But the prosecution, I got to tell you, I was very impressed with them. Unlike the prosecution in the Rittenhouse case, I thought that this woman, Linda Durovitz, she did an amazing job, and it was to be commended. And so now it is in the hands of the jury. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully justice will prevail. Despite the makeup of the jury, we just want you to all think about this too. They're also going through an election period in the city of Brunswick, Georgia, where this happened. So even as they are seeing what looks like or what is hoped to be justice in their system, people are still going about their due process in electing someone to be the mayor of that city. They've had city council elections November 2nd, and now they're having a runoff in the mayoral election. They're still doing it, and people are registering to vote. And that means that they will be called for jury duty for the next time. God forbid that there should be another Ahmaud Arbery murder, but they will be involved in the system too. And that's really important when you register to vote, and you then become a part of that pool of those selected to do your civic duty and be on the panels or the jury. So good on them. And we keep prayer alive. But what was also interesting, the last thing I'm going to say about this is the Black Panther, the new Black Panther Party, outside of the courtroom. And so there was so much between the different Black groups that were not the Black ministers that they wanted to keep out of the courtroom, but all of the more progressive organizations like the new Black Panther Party. There was so much going on outside that the judge had to move the jury to a real interior room for them to do the deliberations so that they would not hear what was going on outside, which I thought was really interesting.
And great that there's, people out there standing up for Ahmaud since he can't be here to defend himself.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And they're supporting his mom as well. Yolanda, can you put that back up? I know you're having difficulties with your computer, but I think that was Manuel Murphy who was talking about Harold Washington. I just saw the first part of that. If we could do that, that would be great. All right, gentlemen. So we'll keep hope alive for the outcome in that trial. One of the last ones that we're watching as of right now. So let's talk entertainment. Quickly, the Grammy nominations were announced, and Grammy nominations for President Barack Obama, LeVar Burton, and Dave Chappelle among the nominees for Best Spoken Word Album. They were announced, and also up for the prize, 10-time Emmy nominee Don Cheadle and poet hip-hop artist Jay Ivey. This is the third in the category for President Obama and his first in 13 years. He's won both times previously for his audiobooks, Dreams from My Father, and The Audacity of Hope. The wins coming before he was elected president. And so now this is his post. But here's Damon. I'm so excited and so happy for him. Our friend, Lavelle Crawford, has been nominated for a Grammy for Best Comedy Album.
Oh, really?
The Comedy Vaccine. I am so excited for him. The Comedy Vaccine is the Lavelle Crawford Best Comedy Album in this group. He's got some heavy competition: Chelsea Handler, Louis C.K., who's back,
wow.
Louis Black, Thanks for Risking Your Life, and Kevin Hart, Zero F's Given. But we are just hoping and wishing him great luck. Lavelle Maurice Crawford.
Right. And actually, Jay Ivey's a really good friend of mine. He actually got his start at All Jokes Aside on my Wednesday night, Apollo night. And he mentioned that in his book. So I'm really happy to hear that. And then I didn't even know there was a comedy category for the Grammy. So that's great. But I guess I should have known that because Tiffany won once.
Right.
I believe.
Yeah, it was last year. Yeah.
So let's go, Maurice Lavelle Crawford. And don't you ask for nothing when you go in this store.
And I mean nothing.
Then you said, Maurice Lavelle Maurice Crawford, don't touch nothing. Don't ask for nothing. Don't even look at nothing. And then you said, if you hit my foot, That's a classic LaBelle joke.
Yeah,
Then he said,
and you know, I will kill you, and I'm young enough to go to prison, do my time, come out, and have 3 more of you.
"Oh,
So
I don't I
yes,
don't
sir.
I don't know if you all know this, but Barack Obama had some really stiff competition for that spoken word album.
So
in
that's what I wanted you to talk about.
Yeah, he had some really stiff competition. I was told that he had to phone in some favors to get on that nomination
Mhm.
because a young Black poet from the South Side of Chicago, Quinn Riley, was um, was really sticking it to Barack Obama this year.
South
So
Side, yep.
so Barack Obama just barely made it in, just barely made the cut. He just
And
barely
and
made it.
I just want you all to remember that we did play cuts from that She Worthy album, and she absolutely is worthy. And we look for her and listen for her in the future for the great works of Quinn. And good on you, big brother.
You'll get him next year, Quinn. Don't worry. Popularity contest.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, gentlemen, it's time for us to take a look at today's Yogi's Jewel. And Damon, if I have, I think I've gotten some of your dates, but you mentioned, did we miss anything?
well, this weekend, starting tomorrow, Philadelphia, I'll be at the Punchline in Philly. And then on Friday, there's a new AFC Center on the south side of Chicago. It's the Chicago Comedy Kings. Saturday, Riddles with my man Joe Claire is coming to town.
Oh, nice.
And that's enough. Yeah.
And then there's all of December, so I'm sure that calendar will fill up too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll be in Detroit Sunday, but we'll just talk about that later.
Okay, all right. Let's talk about Yogi's Jewel. Today's daily inspiration is: now is the time to put some action behind your intentions. Now is the time to put some action behind your intentions. Thank you, gentlemen. As always, it's been a great show. I've enjoyed talking to you, and you both make me think and make me laugh, and I appreciate your joining us each and every week. So have a good one, and happy holidays to everybody as we go into this season, and we'll see you soon. Aloha.
See you all later.